So currently I am 12 weeks out from the Indy Pro. So coming off the Olympia, I decided that I wanted to jump into a show quicker. I was already conditioned. I thought look at the schedule, there's lots of uncertainty right now if I should wait and have like a little bit like a moderate off-season period, then do like a long prep, and I didn't know when the cutoff would be also to qualify.
We will both be in prep together, which I think is great. He is about 12 weeks out from the Indy Pro, I believe, and I am 19 weeks out from my pro debut, which will be Bahamas.
So it just made sense, like, hey, I'm gonna kind of have a little off-season maintenance break of 8 weeks, then jump into this prep. So currently 12 weeks out from the Indy Pro and prepping with Renee. So it's definitely been cool. That's part of the decision too, was to make sure we were being able to prep together and off-season together, which having that same mindset and also same patterns of eating and flexibility makes a huge difference for us. So it makes mealtime more enjoyable because we have similar goals.
I'm really excited to be in prep at the same time. I think it will make things a little bit easier.
And so it's always beneficial in that way, rather than having someone that can eat like this really macro-friendly meal of fitting within, because if you watch other videos of, like, we made like macro matched sushi and macro matched pizza, and you don't want to see someone else having that and you're not able to have fun, enjoy it with them. Or even having like free meals and untracked meals off plan. Like, a big part of that for us is the social aspect and going out and enjoying the meal together.
So for this meal, this is actually one of our favorite meals. This is meal 5 for the both of us. We will do a nice big salad with chicken, and then for my fat, I have a nut butter, which I make our own homemade nut butter here at home. I'll do a mix of all different kinds of nuts. I'll do cashews, peanuts, almonds, just a whole array of nuts. Throw it in our blender and then mix it up and make a homemade nut butter. It's one of my favorite things when I'm on prep.
This was unexpected cold front in San Antonio. Was like supposed to get down to like 10 degrees on Monday. For grilling, the issue is that it's a little hard to control the flame with the wind going on. So this chicken's gonna be a little burnt. Some might turn out okay.
I would say that John's biggest strength in the kitchen is he's very planned and methodical, just like everything else in his life. He will take a recipe or whatever he's wanting to cook, and he will do every single step exactly how it's supposed to be.
What do you have any particular seasoning you want on it, or?
No.
I'll make the choices.
You make the choices. What I would like is that fajita chicken we had last night.
I just started my diet like just a few days ago, and currently I haven't had food that high because I wanted to stay pretty lean for just doing a 12-week prep. So right now I'm just doing 200 grams of carbs, 300 protein, and 45 grams of fat on most days. My off days, I'll cut the carbs down in half. So this meal that we made tonight, this is actually my meal 5. So I have 6 meals for the day. This one, I'll do 400 grams of total salad, which is something I've done throughout all my last prep, throughout off season. It's just always been in place. Helps really manage hunger at nighttime too. And then Renee and I can sit and watch, a show or something and just like have a little while to actually eat and not just blaze through a meal. But for 400 grams of this salad is just a combo of like lettuce, tomato, red onion, and some banana peppers, mushrooms. And so that's the total weight of those items.
How many animal hairs do you think we eat?
A lot, probably. Hey.
Have you ever found my hair in your food?
I found your hair everywhere. So yes, I have found your hair in my food.
Does it gross you out?
No, I don't care. Then with this, I also have 6 ounces of cooked chicken, and today we actually realized we didn't have enough chicken. We had like a little portion of it, so luckily we usually have some like constantly thawed in the fridge, and rotating between some frozen ones. So we have our deep freezer with frozen meats, then we always have like a pack that's thawing out so we can cook away. So the decision was to have to grill chicken that night, and out on the grill, and it was pretty cold out there, so that made the process a little less enjoyable getting out on the grill. But overall, always like grilled chicken. It's just a nice variety to have it in place. But for this meal, I needed 6 ounces of grilled chicken and cooked weight. And then I also needed 65 grams of avocado, which we haven't been to the store, so I didn't have avocado. And I only had like a sliver of avocado. So in that situation, I just weigh out some nuts and make up the fats through that. So that's, being able to be a little flexible, but it's usually not what I like to do in prep at all. Like, I write out the foods that I'm gonna have, and that's what I have, and that keeps it really consistent for me. Fuck this. Really, fuck this thing. Let's not ever turn it upside down.
But you have to get the last bit out.
I don't care about that. I don't care about the last bit. It does it every time, every damn time.
So for this meal, I don't have a lot of carbs. It's pretty much just the carbs that I'm getting from the salad, which is more or less like 5 grams of carbs. Protein is about 23 grams of protein, and then my fats from my homemade nut butter is about 11 grams of fat. And then we will also make our meal 6 while we're prepping our meal 5, because it's a frozen blended shake that we'll pre-make, and then we'll leave it in the freezer for like 2 to 3 hours in between meal 5 and 6. And it gets frozen and creamy, and it's our little like end of the night sweet dessert during prep, which is another one of my favorite things to have. So I got our salads all made and measured out, chopped all these veggies, and another thing that we'll do for this meal is make protein shakes. So we'll blend ice, cashew milk, and protein powder, and then we'll freeze it. And I've never told John this, but I hate doing it, and I do it every single night. So tonight I'm gonna see if I can make him do it, because I don't know, something about it. It's so simple, just blending this ice and cashew milk and protein in our Ninja and putting it in the freezer, but I hate doing it. It's such a pain. So I'm gonna see if I can get him to do it tonight.
Do you make yours like mine?
Yeah, make yours. Mine like yours.
Yours like mine. What flavor you want?
Vanilla.
Okay.
Vanilla to stevia.
Got it.
Ice, cashew milk.
Same. Yeah. I only don't like it when I fill it too full and then I cannot get the lid on and have to smash it down. That's the only part that I don't like. And I don't like when it gets stuck and it just sits there forever blending.
So I successfully got him to make the shakes tonight. It's all right. It's one for me.
One thing we both have really advanced on all these past years, and it's weird to call it an advancement because most people wouldn't think of it, is just our prioritization of food quality and enjoyment in our meals. And I think that's been made so much easier to be consistent with the plan. Not that we aren't, but it makes it it eases the difficulty of it, which it makes it seem like you're not on a diet year round. And by just simply choosing foods that we truly do like, because working with coaches in the past, you're given a meal plan and you don't question it at first, you just follow it, right? And you're like, hey, I'm kind of getting tired of this food, can we change it? And they're like, yeah, of course, like you could do this and that for you. Like, oh man, I didn't even know that. And so you realize like you can make the same result with a lot of different food options. and you can learn like what you can program around that. So what we've done is just try to build in as much enjoyment as we can to our foods, and take the time to make good food. And that goes really far into digestive process, because the digestive process works a lot on the parasympathetic nervous system, and the sympathetic nervous system is like your fight or flight system. So if you're in this constant state of moving around, you're trying to eat and smash food down real quick, or you're not able to truly like engage in your meal. And also just the other senses of a meal, like seeing it visually, how it smells, all that begins the digestive process. So if you're making food that's just made to like rush and get down, it visually looks terrible, it doesn't smell good, all that makes it just really challenging to be able to have good digestive process. So that's what we focused on making sure our meals are really enjoyable, and taking the time, whether cooking methods that we need to do, different seasons and condiments that can put flavor in our meals. Like, I think taking the time to do that makes a big difference, for one, on your enjoyment of being a bodybuilder, just overall health in general, and then adherence with it in plan, and making the same result, but making it feel much easier to do so. So I think that is one area that we've really have improved on these past years.